So they're stepping up these patrols, and here we go. About 10 meters from the intersection of a paddy, dike, and our path was paralleling with another that ran perpendicular to it. I saw Barton's back stiffen, and the air was suddenly filled with the sound of an automatic weapons fire. Barton had heard the click of an AK-47 safety being turned off only a few meters away, and as he and the enemy soldier facing him opened fire at each other simultaneously and at point blank range, I realized that we had walked head on into a Viet Cong ambush. As I dropped to my knees, a string of bright red tracers like the length of neon tubing passed waist high down the berm beside me. It was obvious that if I had been on the berm instead of in the paddy beside it, I would have been eviscerated. Within seconds, the rest of the ambush team somewhere off to our left directed its fire across the path to the tracer rounds and into our flank. But Barton and I were shielded from the lethal barrage by the paddy dike we had dropped behind. The fire from our left subsided, but a ball of flame suddenly burst in the paddy between me and the Marine behind me, and I thought momentarily we were under attack from the right flank as well. When I realized that the explosion had been a grenade lobbed into our position by enemy soldiers to our left who could not hit us with direct fire, I pulled a grenade from my belt, yanked out the pin, and heaved it from my knees with a hook shot motion in the direction of the enemy. After what seemed like an interminable amount of time, during which I thought I had thrown a dud, the grenade finally detonated and was followed by silence. For the first time, I heard moaning from the Marine behind me and realized that he had been hit. My cries of Corpsman up were answered almost immediately by Doc Ellis, who ran in a crouching position, medical kit in hand to administer first aid to the wounded Marine. The man had been hit in the head by grenade shrapnel, and Ellis bandaged his head and told me that the fragments had struck a glancing blow and that the wounds appeared superficial. Probably not 5 minutes had elapsed between the time of the first shots being fired and the enemy breaking contact in response to my grenade toss, but it seemed like an eternity. Sergeant Leslie by now had worked his way up to my position and as I regained my wits, I had him pull all three squads into a tight perimeter facing outward and using the natural protection of the paddy dikes as insulation from whoever might still be lurking in the dark. After the wounded man and Doc Ellis assured me that a medevac was unnecessary, I called in a situation report to Captain Woods, that's the company commander, who gave us permission to sit tight until first light. The squads placed claymore mines in front of their positions, and we passed a sleepless and soggy night. But the Viet Cong had apparently had enough and did not attack our perimeter. We had been in the Riviera one day. The platoon had been hit fore and aft, and I was not at all certain that I was going to be able to take this kind of action on a regular basis. At some point during the night, I became aware of how close I had come to being killed, and I made my way over to a badly shaken Barton, who was wide awake also, and thanked him for saving my life. That's day one in the Riviera, and there was another part where they got hit twice that day, their first day out. And he's already thinking, hey, I don't know if I can hack this. And I'll tell you what, on that, it's just like anything else. It takes some getting used to. And I bet there's a lot of people that feel like their first situation they get in, like, I don't know if I can do this, but your perspective will open up and you'll begin to see more. And you'll gain confidence over time. So don't fret too bad.